Welcome to Workplace Conversations. Real people, real stories, real workplaces.
Welcome to Workplace Conversations, AIMWA's podcast. We have a special guest with us today. Jasmine Kadic is a friend of AIMWA's and she is a proud Whadjuk and Ballardong Noongar woman. She's also managing director and co-founder of Benang and a leader working across infrastructure, employment, housing and Aboriginal economic development. Welcome to the podcast today, Jasmine.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here and have a bit of a yarn with you.
Yes, I'm excited to have you here as well. I know I accosted you.
You did. As I was running out the door.
Yes, you're running out the door.
That's the way to do it with me though.
Yeah, well.
Otherwise I think about it too much.
Well, good. I'm glad because you didn't have time. I was like, can you please come on the podcast and talk about that?
They were like, quick, jump in now.
Yeah, so, I know. So thank you for saying yes in that moment.
No problem.
Coming on, but you raised some things in a CEO voice which were really important about knowledge transfer and the way that you're approaching it at Benang. But before we get into that, because we will get into that, I think we need a little bit of background about you and your history and how you got to where you are now. So before we talk about that, can you talk about your upbringing and your community and what leadership looked like in your community?
Yeah. So again, I'm a proud Whadjuk Ballardong woman. My dad is Aboriginal, and then my mum is first generation Australian. So both her parents were Dutch and English, and then my dad's side both. I think there was a bit of German and mostly Aboriginal. So that's where that comes into it. So my mum and dad met obviously in the early 80s at a football party, kind of love at first sight. So I hear, or I don't know if it might have been lust, but a bit of both, you know. Dad had a great charisma about him. So, they met in the 80s. I was born in 86. I'm the oldest of four. Yes. So myself, got two brothers and a sister. We grew up in Armidale. And then went to Armidale High. Yep. I was always quite ambitious. I wanted to get into work. We didn't come from a lot of money.
Yes.
So, you know, we had chores to do.
Of course.
We had to, you know, get to school and kind of walk to school, do all that, you know, all those sorts of things. Yep. So I wanted to, and I liked nice things.
Yes.
So I was like, I want to get to work. So I, as soon as I was like 14 and 9 months, I was in the papers looking for a job. But prior to that, at school, for whatever reason, and I think it might have just come from seeing my mum quite sick at such a young age.
Okay.
So she had cancer, and we were told that she was not going to probably be around.
Okay.
However, she fought that. But I think not knowing at the time how much that resilience instilled in me and a sense of empathy, and I just had to grow up that little bit quicker.
Yeah.
And whether that sort of early onset leadership was coming in at that point, maybe because I've done, you know, I've thought back going, where has this stemmed from?
Yes.
And also seeing my dad and my nana culturally, they were out teaching and showing, you know, our culture and trying to just get it out there as much as they can. So they were always in public spaces pushing it for anybody that wanted to hear at the time. So I grew up around that.
Yeah. It's a strange one, isn't it? You never know whether you were born with it or whether it's a product of what you have grown up with.
Yeah, because I always felt like I fell into things.
Yeah.
That's how it felt. So it's like people must see something before I see it.
Yeah.
And maybe I have a real sense of fairness.
Yes, justice.
I want and I want everything to be fair.
Yeah.
And I think whether that creates a safe place for people.
Yeah.
And they're like, she's got a good head on her, or she's fair, and I want to be around that because I know there's honesty. So I don't know whether that is a sense of why I so happen to jump into these roles.
Yeah.
Because it's not something I go looking for.
So it comes
if that
to
makes
you.
sense. Yeah, like I was voted head girl at school. I didn't even know that I was, those sorts of things. And then faction, I didn't even like that much sport. And somehow I was some sort of vice captain at high school. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I just so happened to fall into things, I think.
Do you think that, though, that's because people wanted you to lead? Not that
maybe.
you necessarily wanted it. They
Correct.
could see that
Correct.
in you?
Correct. And I've always had this sort of like, okay, well, if someone doesn't do it, then who will?
Yeah.
And I guess I trust myself more than potentially others when it comes to being that fairness.
Yeah.
So, I think maybe that's why. But also, I think just being around really strong women within my family too.
Yeah.
It's almost like that sets a boundary or sets a bar.
Good
as
role
such.
models.
Yeah, and I come from a long line of those women on both sides. So I had Dutch ancestry, and then I had these matriarch Aboriginal women.
Yes.
So they were staunch and strong. So I think maybe it's just DNA as well.
Tell me about that.
Yeah.
So that there's strong lines of women in your family.
Yeah. So obviously with my mum being sick, she was the resilience that was built in her. Yeah. Because she shone through in that way.
Yeah.
She never complained, continued on no matter what.
Wow.
And then her mum came over as a Dutch woman. Came over, I think it would have been not long after World War II. I suppose when there was all sorts of things happening over in Holland.
Horrific things happening.
Yeah. And she had to get to work. Like she had to go and work and be a part of the family, giving money and being a part of it. And then you had my nana side. So my nana was the one of, I think, 14 to 15 kids. She was the eldest.
Wow.
Of 15 might have been 14, apologies, family. So she had to she had to watch the other kids.
Yeah, of course.
And being Aboriginal, you not only didn't really have rights as a woman, but you were still considered as fauna and flora back in those days. So she really had to learn how to be staunch and to get through and, like there'd be stories she'd tell me. She'd be like on the bus or the bus would just go straight past her so they wouldn't go to school. So she'd just continue to walk. So I think she just had this mentality. It was like, if I need to get somewhere,
she'll have to do it herself.
I have to do it myself.
Yeah.
And that, I think and then her mum was the same. So it was just that real staunchness, I think, that comes through. But also, obviously a lot of love and care as well.
Yeah.
But, this world's not going to it's not going to hand stuff to you.
No, and growing up with that adversity actually probably does instill that, and then you're seeing those role models in your family going, okay.
And you unconsciously do it, I think.
I think so too.
And then trying to instill that in my daughter as well.
Yeah.
In
How
a
old's
world
your
that's,
daughter?
she's almost 9. She'll be 9 in September. Yeah, and then I've got the twin boys.
Yeah.
But it's something really important to instill in her.
Yeah, definitely.
That this is where she comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I think that's where the leadership kind of started. And I'm getting, what was the other part of that question again?
I just wanted to. No, you're good. It's just, I'm just interested in your background. So, because every time I guess so we don't know each other very well. We've met each other a few times.
We'll be best friends by the end of it.
Absolutely. But I have noticed that about you.
Yeah.
So when you're saying that I didn't really think I wanted to lead, like that wasn't me pushing, I can see how you walk in a room and people gravitate towards you, or when you speak. I think we were on a judging panel together once, and I remember there was a lot of discussion around something, and then you spoke up and the whole room went quiet. Everyone listened.
Oh God!
Went,
hopefully
yes,
it was good.
It was really good. It was interesting to watch because you could see the things happening in the room and the different dynamics. And the moment you spoke, everyone went, "Oh, okay, yes, we'll do that."
Appreciate that because I always get nervous about those things. I appreciate that comment.
You should take that.
Thank you.
So I guess let's have a talk. Let's chat about your background, your business background.
Yes.
Right. So you started in healthcare. Is that correct?
I did. So I actually went to so my first job was a pharmacy assistant.
Wow. Yep.
My mum, I wanted to be a checkout chick. And my mum was like, absolutely not. You're not doing that because of the location of where it was. Yeah. And at the time I was just like, I just want a job, mum.
Yeah.
but she was like, no, I think you're better than that.
Yeah.
And that's another thing my parents were very good and instilled in me is that don't ever think that you're you're worthless or you can't achieve anything.
Know your worth.
And it was only done very slightly and those were the sorts of things that my mum always said, like, just because it's the first one doesn't mean it's the right one.
Yes.
And at the time I didn't understand that until
Oh my God, that's the best advice.
until like later as I got older and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
So anyway, I started my first job as a pharmacy assistant and like most jobs you have to work from the bottom up, which I appreciated. And then I loved the idea of just helping people and I think, again, it kind of connects with my mum's story about not being well. And
Yes.
so I had that kind of background sort of, empathy towards someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then I started in there and I did love it but I wanted a little bit more and I decided to study this medical administration while working because I moved out when I was 18.
Yeah.
I moved out of home. And then just prior to that, I was also doing WPA. So I did a year at WPA
Oh, you did WPA.
Like theatre,
Yep.
which I absolutely loved. And I did learn a lot there
Yeah.
when it came to confidence and being on stage, and it teaches you things about yourself, I think. Like
Yeah.
it really exposes you emotionally to stuff as well because you
Yeah.
have to dive deep
Yeah.
in theatre. So that was good. But then I actually was dancing. I was a go-go dancer
Wow. Where were you doing that?
at Metro City.
Oh, of course. Probably
Hippie.
saw
That's
you.
where I met my husband.
Hippie Club, which is
Good
still
old
going
hippie.
today.
I know. And then I eventually just fell into creating like my own little girls. Like I had a group of girls
Yep.
and it was sort of like I started like a little business, I suppose.
Okay.
And it wasn't again until I looked back going, oh, actually I was kind of doing this already and I didn't even think about it.
So you were like an agent.
Yeah, like I just would have, like a group of girls and I
Yeah.
just kind of fell into it and then I was rostering them and
Wow.
then managing how they were getting paid.
So you
and
had a talent agency and you didn't know it.
yeah. I know. The things you do, you're like, oh, yeah, I did do that, didn't I? Like I just didn't think of it like that because I
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a little bit of a passion of mine
Yeah.
is always music and musical
Yes.
theatre. So it was just something, it wasn't work for me.
Yeah.
And then, I was worked as at the GP clinic
Okay.
and just worked myself up there and managed some staff in the orthodontic clinic
Yeah.
and, until I had my baby. But I think it was just that connection piece with people
With people.
that I really enjoyed,
Okay.
and helping.
Yeah. So it
You
gave
know.
you a good grounding for what
Yeah,
you're doing now,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah. And I think also like health is a very vulnerable place to be in,
Yeah.
and you do learn a lot about vulnerability around people who are really sick and the emotions that they deal with, the fear, then anger,
Yeah.
and trying to manage all that
Yeah.
was a big learning, learning thing for me.
Yeah, they're probably not coming in on their best days, right?
No. And some of the best advice I got was in those moments where someone was angry because they couldn't get in to see a doctor.
Yeah.
I remember one doctor saying to me, just remember, you don't know where they've come from.
Yes.
You don't know what they've been told. This reaction isn't a reflection on you. It's potentially because they've just been told they may not have long to live.
Yes.
And I've always taken that with me, like
Yeah.
never, think it's a reflection on you or just kind of let it go or bounce off or, so yeah.
Another great piece of
Yeah.
wisdom to live by, I think.
Yeah.
Because you never know.
No, you don't. That's
Yeah.
right.
So you had your first child and then talk to
Yeah.
me about Benang and how did you make that transition
Yep.
from healthcare
Yep.
into Benang and what you're doing now?
It was, look, I think when we jumped into it, we didn't really know what we were going to be doing.
Okay.
It's kind of like fallen into the way it is now with the journey that we've been on.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, I was still working at the orthodontic clinic I was at part-time. I had a daughter who was not long, probably about 1.
Yeah.
But prior to that, my husband and so Demir and Goran, my husband and my business partner now,
Yeah.
we were in discussions for like years prior.
Yeah.
Again, it was just like, when's the right time? What are we doing? Why are we doing it? And then after I call it always dating, you know.
Yeah.
After we're meeting and talking, and we were just like, let's give it a go. Let's do this, you know. And Demir would sit down with me, and he was more in the corporate world, and he's like, there's a movement happening. You know, there's this movement going on.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I think we have a real, you know, potential to change and be a part of it.
Yeah.
And because you got to remember, I was in like my mum zone.
Yeah, I know, I understand.
You know,
Yeah,
like I was trying to discover who I was as a mum, let alone jumping into business. But I didn't know at the time, you know, and I trusted him. I was like, all right, let's do it. And silly old me thinking, oh, I'll just do this, you know, just do a bit of reception work or accounting. But that's just not my personality either.
No.
So yeah, we kicked it off in 2018. So for people that don't know, it's an infrastructure construction business. We are a multi-utility business, so we do underground services.
Yes.
So I guess the best way to put it is anything underground when it comes to pipes in the water, power and gas space, we essentially install or replace.
Okay.
That's the best way to do it. And then we do have a fabrication side of the business. But it wasn't always that at the beginning, no. We kind of transitioned to that. We went into it thinking like, and I must add, actually, going back a few steps, me and Demir had lost a lot of close people to us.
Okay.
So we'd lost his parents. I lost my dad, my nana, my pop, all within a few years. It was quite a lot. And we were like, that was also a huge factor of what are we doing? Like we were just reassessing everything in our life.
What have we got to lose?
You know, when you go through grief, it's like it's like a deep breath, and it's like, who are we?
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden you can just go and then you're gone. Yeah.
And it fundamentally changes you as a person.
100, and you just look at life so differently when you lose people around you. And that was a big driver in it as well. It was like, okay, you know, we need to do something.
Yeah.
Like I felt like all this work that my nan and dad were doing, I didn't want to lose that.
No.
And that was a big driver of it as well.
So carry that through to the
But
next generations.
also in my own way.
Yeah.
And that was a huge driver. But yeah, we went in and we went with this approach of like, we can do everything.
Yeah.
Which wasn't great.
Yeah. How did that work out?
Yeah, it wasn't great. The feedback was just you really need to probably work on what it is you do.
Yeah.
But we were also wanting to see what was going to bite.
Yes.
What was missing, what was needed.
So you were testing the market.
We were also testing the market. Yeah. And then obviously it's come from, you know, us three, a plant, we hired like a van, and it's grown from that to, we've got around 80, just over 80 people.
Yeah.
We've got about embedded contractors around 30. So if you include them, it's over 100 staff. We have locations out in Bibra Lake. Our main headquarters, I would call it, is in Subi.
Yeah.
Wangara, we've got some lay down yard there, and we're over at the airport too. So yeah, it's growing.
It's impressive.
Yes, thank you.
So healthcare to civil construction.
Yes.
What did you have to learn quickly?
You know what the one person said to me once, because that was a huge panic of mine.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know anything about construction. And he said to me, he's been in business, sold his business. And he said to me, you just have to learn enough to be dangerous.
Oh.
You don't have to know everything.
Yep.
And that's taken me a while to kind of, because I really suffer from this imposter syndrome, which I think a lot of people either like that term or they don't. But I really connected with that. So it was trying to understand that that's taken me a while to really take my foot off and go, oh my God, I don't know this, I don't know that.
Yeah.
I don't have the answer for this. But I really appreciated that comment because it stuck with me.
Yeah.
But essentially, I'm really good with people. That's where my strength is.
So
and I've had to learn, you know, that we all bring different strengths to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Mine may not be construction, but simply going out, being amongst the site, talking to people, asking the question, what's that, what's this? I think you actually gain more respect from the team doing that.
And you don't need to know everything.
No.
You don't.
But it's wild to think that I did. You know, it's like, what? No, that was never going to happen. But yeah, I think the similarities, if you want to say, I suppose, is with medical communication organisation is huge, because you've got people coming in for appointments. They need to be on time. There's a process, making sure that they're safe.
Yes.
Whereas it's very similar to, you know, construction in a sense where you're making sure that the people have their tickets.
Yeah.
They're doing their, you know, their pre-starts, that we're checking in safety.
Yes.
You know, those processes are all very
Similar.
similar.
I found that as well over my career. Like, you move from industry to industry and you think, I don't know anything around this industry. But as soon as you get in there, you realise processes, you know, the way things operate are usually pretty similar anyway. So it's just transferable.
Yeah.
So it's not that difficult a lot of the time to just move across and understand the way things work if you're open to learning.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a big. It was definitely a transition.
Yeah.
And it wasn't easy.
So am I right in saying that Benang means tomorrow?
Yes, correct. In Noongar.
In Noongar.
Yes.
So why did you choose Benang?
We liked the idea of it meaning that there's always a focus on what's next.
Right.
I think, you know, for our generation, for the next generation, for innovation, I think it applies to a lot of things.
Yeah.
So we just really liked the idea of that always forward thinking.
Yes. Yeah.
To better community, to better the next generation. So it just kind of stuck with us.
Yeah, it's great.
You know, and one of our values is family. So it's always thinking about, you know, our families and what that looks like for the future.
Yeah. How do you instill that into the organisation? Family as a value?
Yeah. It's an ongoing thing, because as your team grows, you have to make sure that they're very well aware of your values.
Yeah.
But we always have this, the way we speak is always welcome to the family. This is the Benang family.
Yeah.
And that transcends through everything. So even through emails, you know, I don't know, John, welcome to the family. Like, you know, so we really do try and take that approach.
Yes.
And we also have people that we feel that relate to that.
Yeah.
Relate to those values as well. You know, so, and, you know, if there's something going on with their family and they need some time or they need
support.
We can go, we get it, you know, because it's not just about them as individuals, it's about what's happening around them as well. You know what I mean?
Well, it affects everything.
Correct.
You know, what's happening outside doesn't not affect what's
That's
happening
right.
in the
Yes.
workplace. So it's a big piece. And I guess that would also form your recruitment process as well, if you're looking for the right people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And you can generally feel that,
Yeah, you can.
you know,
I agree.
when you're speaking to someone.
I agree. So your organisation obviously is commercial organisation, but you are very strong around social purpose and ensuring that obviously, as you've talked about, there's a big sense of justice and fairness. How are you balancing community and that social purpose, and how do you see that social purpose sort of happening within the business?
I think first and foremost, you need to have the commercial arm, because you need money to make a difference.
Yep.
And then I think from there it flows on to creating opportunities.
Yeah.
And I guess the thing that we've come to realise is that it's continuity of work too. So projects can fluctuate from contract to contract.
Yeah.
So when we get a long-term contract like we have we've been awarded back in July last year with ATCO, we're now in the process of creating an apprenticeship program, but instilling it more, embedding it more, because we have that continuity.
Yeah.
And that's the piece that we want to have more Aboriginal girls or guys come along and instill those skills.
Yep.
So I think it does go like hand in hand in a way. And I think it's just remembering that when you do get these projects or these contracts, what are you going to do at the end of that outcome?
Yeah.
Like our big thing is if we get a project and we're out in community, we go out to the community and go, what is it that you need?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
do you need a basketball court? Do you want some fishing, little huts on the beach?
Yeah.
Those are the sorts of things I think that's how you balance it.
Yeah.
I would suggest that's what we've kind of been doing.
So is it a formalised program, or do you obviously have your commercial arm and then you're in the communities that you're in and you do some consultation and then you give back in that way? Is that how you do it?
Yes. I mean, we would like to do more of it.
Yeah.
But that's our idea around it. Again, it depends on where we are and what we're doing.
Of course.
But that's how we try and give back in a way that also gives them a voice.
Yeah.
And makes them know that they're being listened or they're cared, and
it's pretty special. I've seen so many different social projects over the years where people just don't do the consultation.
Yeah.
And communities end up with things that they don't need or don't want, and then it fails.
Yes.
So, or it creates a bigger problem.
Yes.
In that community. So I think there was one that I was remembering where a park was built, but they didn't want a park because actually what the park did was create more problems for ensuring that there was antisocial behaviour going on in the park at night time. So the stuff like that. Yeah. So it's really important.
Yeah. Yeah. So we do try and do things that are along those sorts of lines. And we don't always get it right. I'm not,
No, but you're consulting. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
So I think one other thing that I was thinking about was, as an Aboriginal business, how did you break in, and have you found it harder as a business to grow and to be seen for your capability in the space?
Yeah, the way we broke in was my business partner, Goran. We were lucky enough, he had a lot of relationships from his previous jobs and, as he always says, previous lives. So there was a lot of relationships there, but obviously, like anything, we had to build on those relationships. It was harder. Well, I think because they they have this unconscious bias when they do see an Aboriginal business. Do they have the capability? Who are they employing? Like, what's the risk? And I'm not saying that's for everyone.
No, of course.
There were a few people or a few contractors we did work for, and we didn't end well.
Yeah.
So we learnt pretty quick the importance of who we do collaborate with.
Yeah, choosing your partners wisely.
Correct. But again, we needed to experience that,
of course,
to understand who it is that we were targeting. So, a lot of our clients now are utility or asset owners.
Yeah.
And we just find that our values align.
Yeah.
They know our story. But look, I don't look at it as a barrier.
No.
I don't like barriers. Try and smash them down. And I feel like it gives you more fuel. Like you're saying, like the amount of times we've had, that won't happen.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Or you get that because of.
Oh.
We've had that. More so from, what do you call them? Like competitors.
Competitors say it.
And that makes me go, yeah, watch me.
Yeah.
See, I'm going to do it just because you said I couldn't.
Yeah, I know.
See, that's that matriarch,
it's the motivation.
Stubbornness of the Dutch and Aboriginal coming through.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think that's just like,
don't tell me I can't.
Don't tell me I can't. I'll tell you what. But with every single contract that you win and with every time you prove your capability as a business, you are breaking down those barriers further.
Correct. Yeah, that's right. And the business, the Aboriginal business sector is growing so quickly. And there is so many incredible businesses out there just doing incredible things. Like, I'm so proud to be a part of it.
It's amazing.
And it's very exciting.
Yeah.
It's so exciting to see. So exciting.
Do you support each other? How do you do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So a big thing for us, I think last time we checked, which has probably not been a while, we had spent close to $2 million with Aboriginal businesses. So contracting out to Aboriginal businesses, which is something that we obviously do, like automatically, organically is the word I was looking for. But, you know, I didn't realise that, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool, because not only are you building their capability as well, they're employing other people, and, you know, there's that transition or those progressions that's happening below you. So
it's just that domino effect, right?
Correct. Yeah. It's
Amazing.
powerful.
Amazing. So I guess let's talk about your employees. So primarily Aboriginal employees, or how does that work?
We have around like 20 to 25% of our staff are Indigenous.
Yes.
Last time I checked. I don't like to check it all the time, but it is good to just, you know, see, you know, who we've got out there, what support's required. But, yeah, that's predominantly around that sort of mark.
Around that mark.
We usually stay around there, yeah.
And you're offering secure and meaningful employment for your employees and your Indigenous staff. So I guess one of the things I wanted to touch on is the change that can instill in those individuals as well.
Yep.
I did some work way back, a few years back with the McGovern Foundation.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
they do pretty cool things.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
So, and one of the things that I learned through that foundation was that for Indigenous kids, the barrier to getting a license is the biggest barrier to employment. So, and that was something I didn't know. People doing work in that space, but I'm really interested to see what happens once they are actually given an opportunity. Once they've got their license, given the opportunity, and what you see happening for those kids. Yeah,
that is a huge issue, because you've got to remember, coming from a lot of our community don't come from generational wealth.
No.
They don't necessarily have the cars or the role models around. No. So that is a big problem. And within the construction industry, you do need to have a license.
Yeah.
We have had those problems in the past, and we have arranged people maybe to pick them up from the train station. We really do try and work with them if we can to be at work.
Yes.
But also I think it's important for them to have they need to be, you know, responsible. Absolutely. They need to have the ambition and the drive as well. But that's all you need. It's all about attitude for us, and then we will work out how to do that. And I mean, we've even had when people haven't even been able to have boots.
Wow.
You know, like they can't afford to get boots when they first start.
Yeah.
So that's something we've tried to say, well, okay, we can help you with that.
Yeah.
Those sorts of things.
Yeah.
Sometimes we've had people that might not even know how to, you know, they might not even have the laptop at home to do their white card.
Yeah.
So providing that sort of support, I suppose, and them feeling comfortable. And that was the big reason I wanted my auntie to come in and be a part of that sort of mentoring and being there for them, because she understands, and they just let their guard down a little bit and they feel safe.
So tell me about that. Tell me about bringing your auntie in and what role she plays in the business.
Yeah, so when we first started, that was obviously I loved that part. But I did notice over time, I had to step back a little bit, and I was also being called to do so many other things. I mean, I was still doing the payroll for ages, which I loved because it gave me that touch point. But then I was like, I need someone here that's also got a little bit of wisdom, knowledge, and so she kept coming, Jazz, I want to do something with you. I want to work with you. And when it was the right time, because you got to remember, we have to have continuity of work.
Yes.
Because she's in, you know, you would consider maybe an overhead.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so you have to have, but that's part of the investment piece.
And what's her name? Just so
Josie.
Josie.
Hello, Aunty Josie. So she came on board, and she's been amazing. She's just taken on that cultural, the cultural awareness, just being there, just checking in.
Yeah.
You know, just that point of call where it's not the boss.
Yeah.
You know, like someone that's an outsider as such.
Yeah.
But also it's important for that when she goes to their supervisor, she can go, look, this is what's going on.
Right, so she can communicate.
And because, you know, they become very shy.
Yeah.
They don't know how to, you know, maybe tell them what's going on. They might be embarrassed.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know, but it shows in their work.
Yeah.
And just things like funerals, there's a whole process when it comes to when people pass for us. You know, your auntie might not be your direct auntie, but they've been such a huge part of your life. So it's just that kinship kind of model also. So she's able to go in and check on them and just say, hey, how's it going? Yeah. And it's been really, really great for a lot of our staff in the leadership roles because they can call upon her
Yeah.
and go, oh, just noticed, would you mind? Or, but I think that's, I think we forget that this is all part of that village community mentality that we've lost.
We have lost it.
And a lot of people don't have those families around them anymore.
No.
So it's always been there. It's just we've forgotten
it. Yeah.
that part of it, I think.
And then you've instilled it
I've
into your
tried to
business.
instill it, yes.
Yeah.
And then I've also noticed that my next step is to get more of a male elder
Yeah.
to come in and be, because I feel like, having the motherly figure is different, but then having a male elderly figure would encourage so much more of the men.
Yeah.
So that's my next step, is having someone come in, and I've already spoken to them and they're willing to do that. I think that would be really powerful.
I think so too.
Because there's that cultural connection as
Yeah.
well, and just talking about, I've had that happen. This is what happened to me, and that mentoring.
The mentoring, which
yes.
you put in as you've done it officially.
Yes, but also it's just come organically as well. You know, like it's just an organic thing that's happened that I saw that worked.
Yeah,
and there seems to be more people talking about it now.
Yeah, it's awesome. Really, really amazing.
Yeah.
So you've just brought back the family. You've put an auntie in.
Yeah, literally, and they all call her Aunty.
Amazing.
I was like, you guys don't have to call her Aunty, but they all do. They all call her Aunty Josie, and she loves that.
She loves it. That's cool.
It's that kinship.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's really good.
That we all have.
Yeah.
Or we all had. It's just instilling it.
I keep thinking back to what you said about family as your values, and you're just building that over and over and over again.
Good point. I didn't think about it like that. Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah, you're unconsciously doing it.
Yes.
So, we've talked about Aunty Josie. Really excited to meet Aunty Josie one day.
Yes, I'll bring her along. She would love it. She loves coming to things with me.
Yeah, perfect. And I guess I'll get back to what we talked about at CEO Voice. So we ran a CEO Voice here at AIMWA, and it was talking about future skills, AI, what's going to be needed in the future. And this is when I ran after you as you were leaving the room, because you raised some things there, and there was a great diverse discussion around other CEOs and leaders around what is happening as far as skill shortages and how AI is going to affect some of that. But one of the things that you are doing is a buddy system. So I think before we delve into that, what does an experienced worker know that can't be captured in a manual, a video, or via AI? What are you saying?
Yeah, I think it's probably more problem solving on the project.
Yep.
That problem solving piece is how, something doesn't go right. How do you fix it?
Yeah.
And usually that comes down to, wisdom, knowledge, experience.
Yeah.
And you don't always write that stuff down because you're dealing with the problem, and then you kind of move on quickly because you have to catch up from what's happened. So I think a lot of that, and I think that's just, I don't know, maybe that's just life as well, but a lot of that in the project and the construction industry, there's an ageing workforce as well.
Yeah.
So, I know I was speaking to someone at Western Power, and there's people in there that have been working on the network for like 40 years.
Yeah.
And it's like they've got all this knowledge. What are they going to do with that after? And that worries me a little bit,
Yeah, 40 years is a lot of knowledge to lose.
Yeah, and they probably know the old stuff. Like there was old wires here. Like I know with Goran, even he says that. He's like, I remember doing this project 20 years ago.
Wow, yeah.
I know, and the reason we did well on that project was because of the knowledge he learnt from the project prior, because he did it. He was a part of it.
Yeah.
So there's all those little things that I think don't necessarily get shared.
Yeah.
Because life's so quick and moving fast. So I would say that is a big part of that missing piece.
Yeah. So from there, you mentioned a buddy system that you've got, or a mentor system. Can you just tell me a little bit about how you've set that up and what that is?
I think it's just happened organically, and that particular experience I was thinking of, I had in the early piece of Benang. Yeah. We did have one guy who was Indigenous, and he was just having a bit of a rough time with family.
Yeah.
And he just wanted to get away. And then I was like, well, who can we pair him up with? And there was another guy and we thought, great, they can. And it was just because they were available.
Yeah.
It didn't necessarily do it on purpose, but I knew that he would be a good fit because he was easygoing, quite relaxed and open-minded. And and I saw the relationship flourish, like they would have laughs. It became enjoyable for them and they were learning. And then I saw this careness, and because this young guy didn't have the stability of a family network around him, that he became a very like a brotherly, like an older brother, father kind of figure.
Yeah.
And that creates a lot of trust.
So what was the age difference?
I reckon there would have been, he would have been in his 20s and 40s.
Yeah, okay.
So it would probably be more of like a big brother, father kind of figure. And I sat back and I just really enjoyed watching that. And it's that reverse mentoring piece as well. So you see this learning from both sides.
Yeah.
And it's really, really powerful to watch. And then, when something happens, the worry, the care, because they know what's going on within. Because you just, you're driving to a project and it takes 2 hours to get there. Guess what happens? You start talking. You start learning about each other. You then share experiences.
Yes.
And then you get on the job and you see them caring for each other, taking care of it. And especially in construction, that's key when it comes to making sure that people are safe.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because you're like, I don't want this. He's my mate. Like, I don't want him to get hurt.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you don't have that personal trust connection, you're not probably looking out for that person as much, right?
Yeah.
So I saw that and I was like, we really need to do something along those sorts of lines. I think it's great. And I think there's been teams that have organically done that too, like they gravitate towards each other. I've even had people come up to me, some of my staff going, oh, I would love to be a mentor for the next traineeship. Yeah. And obviously I do have a lot of focus on Indigenous kids coming through. And I've had them come up going, oh, I really can if there's another person that's willing to join, I'd love to put my hand up and be a part of that journey with them. So they've seen the value also, which is really special.
One of the things you mentioned, it's really important that it's a voluntary thing.
Yes.
Because you can't force it.
No. Not everybody wants that responsibility.
Yeah.
And I think like most relationships, you either, tolerate someone or you actually really get on.
Yeah.
You can't force it.
No.
So yes, it does I believe it has to be voluntary.
Yeah.
Or you see some sort of, you can see that they might work.
Yeah.
You
can see the chemistry already.
Yes.
Yeah. And from a cultural awareness point of view, so you're obviously sharing knowledge around the job, but how has it impacted maybe non-Indigenous employees as well in actually understanding the Aboriginal experience?
Yeah. I believe that I don't like to force anything.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be organic.
Yeah.
And so I've really tried hard with my auntie to work with instilling that within the fabric of Benang. What I mean by that is that when I take a step back one day and if Benang continues, I want to always have that within Benang.
Yeah.
It can't just not be me doing it. It needs to be within our paperwork. It needs to be a part of our stories.
Yes.
So we're on that journey of really trying to bring people on that journey. For instance, I've started to put like newspaper clippings of my family that were doing all this amazing work before I was even born.
Yeah.
So then they can go, oh, wow, like this has been happening. This isn't just happening because I'm making things up or it's just an Indigenous business and they're doing this. Like this has always been me. Yeah. It's just, I'm telling it a little different. Yeah. So that my auntie's very good at, we celebrate like changing of seasons. Mm-hmm. So that might look like I'll bring my cousin in and she does all like a damper and then we talk about the seasons and we try and mix that around with the different areas because we have to remember that not everyone's in, one place and they don't always get to be a part of it.
Yeah, they're dispersed. Yeah.
Yeah. And also bringing our clients on that journey.
Yeah.
So, we did a tapping tapping stick workshop with ATCO.
Wow.
So they all sat around and were learning Dreamtime stories and painting tapping sticks, and what that does, art is very therapeutic too, and the guys don't necessarily get a chance to do that. They're on a shovel, they're in the dirt, like it's hard work.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do something that was just a little bit different, but also bringing our client on the journey and being a part of the story. So I do try and do things that are a little different, creative, but also like, genuine.
And organic.
Organic.
Just
so you love that word?
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And the other thing I think you talked about in CEO Voice was your football approach to safety.
Yeah.
So can you talk about that a little bit as well?
Yeah. Maybe that's probably more my idea, but I really feel like whenever you have a football team, and you always see, right, when it's like a new team.
Yeah.
They get recruited.
Yep.
And they don't always work really well together at first point
No,
of
they
call,
don't.
right? They're all like, oh, well, you
they
catching the ball,
yeah.
or am I tapping it down? And like everyone doesn't really know their place yet.
Yeah.
But over the years, they start winning, they start understanding who's going to do what, who's on my back, know. And I really feel like that is the same when it comes to teams and the project teams, is creating those football teams so that they understand who's doing what.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's also very important that when you have a leader within that team, that they're creating that safe environment too, where they feel like they can come up and be like, oh, I don't feel like this is right, or this is happening. So that's a huge part of that football, the captain.
Yeah.
But then the problem with construction is those teams get split up constantly because they're having to go for the work.
So you don't have a football team all the time. You're constantly recreating them.
Correct. And then you see projects don't go very well.
Yeah.
And we have this approach at Benang where we really do try and chase long-term contracts because we believe that if we don't have that football approach, things can go wrong because people don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because they don't know each other. And they're like, you got that or I got that? Who's the boss here? Or, egos come into it because you're trying to prove something, and then you have to start again.
Yes, yeah.
So we're always trying to continue making sure we've got a project that has continuity.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard recreating that every 6 months.
I can only imagine. And then trying to, do you try, like if you've picked up another project and a team's worked really well in a certain way, you try and recreate that team on that new project? And
yeah, we're lucky enough we're not doing that much anymore.
Great.
In the beginning it was a bit like that, and we tried really, really hard not to to find that continuity of work. Yeah. So we have a really, really good unit managers now that manage them all really well. We've got a great team within the units that we have. So the way the business is set up, it's got a water unit, a power unit, a gas unit, and then we've got the fabrication side of things. Yeah. So it's almost like it's split off, and they have their own, families as such, and their own way of doing things. But it has to be also across the board too, making sure that it's all the same. But we're lucky enough where we're getting that work coming through now because we've built the capability, we've built the relationships where we can kind of keep these guys going. Yeah. Which is where you want to be.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to move into you a little bit more now. You just won an award, Jasmine.
I did.
Tell us about that.
I did. That was actually a surprise.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was actually nominated for that until I got an email. There's these amazing girls, I'll give them a shout out, who do a lot of our traffic management. Yeah. And I love them because it's like girl power. Yeah. And I was like, you should come to this CCF awards thing, And they were like, okay, we'll have a look at it. And I sent them the link, and then she responded and she's like, oh, we're coming. Congratulations on the nomination. I was like, what nomination? And then I had to Google. So it was a really, really nice
And
surprise.
did they nominate you? Or who nominated?
No, my team did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my team did.
And they didn't tell you?
I didn't know. Like they said, I think we'll put it in, just see how we go. And then I didn't really hear anything back. Like I knew it was put in, but I didn't hear anything until they'd put my picture on. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
And then you won.
I know, and I was so shocked. Because the women, that were nominated are doing phenomenal things in big businesses, like portfolios of billions of dollars.
Wow.
So I was like, nah, we'll just have a few champagnes, it'll be fine. But and then I took it out. I was like, so
exciting.
Yeah, very grateful. Thank you.
I think that's the next question is, like, constructions are heavy, like it's male dominated.
Mm-hmm.
How are you finding that as a woman?
I don't look at that as a barrier.
Yeah.
Like, I try and look at it as you got to remember, like, I always felt like I never belonged in from where I am. Like, I had a white mum and an Aboriginal dad.
Yeah.
We were quite religious as well. So I always felt like I never fitted in anywhere.
Yeah.
And I always had this, like, people would always go, oh, but you don't look Aboriginal, or you're not like one of them, you know. And then, you know, you start questioning your identity.
Yeah.
So I think a part of it is that I've always felt like that, and then I've had to work through that at such a young age. So I don't look at it as, I've never walked in a room and been like super intimidated.
Yeah.
But I've also had my husband there too, which helps. But yeah, I look at it as a strength.
Yes.
Because usually people are like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
I want to know your story.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
and then you got to use that as, and it's how you walk into a room.
Definitely.
I feel like, I've said this on some of the panels I've sat on with you guys, and, you know, I firmly believe that when the door opens, and it's like an ancestor that's opened that door for you.
Yeah.
You know, you got to walk through it.
Yep.
So yeah, I just try and walk in there. I might be dying inside with like nervousness, but I'm like, no, I've got this.
I guess there's a question I have for you around the Beediyar program you did.
Yeah.
So you did that with us last year.
Yes.
So you're an alumni.
I am, yes.
We're in our second year.
Yeah.
What about that did that program help with any of that how did that help you in business, or help you, what changes have you seen in yourself since you've done that?
Definitely confidence.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the coaching experience with Alison.
Yeah.
That was actually a very emotional part of the journey.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of opened you up, and it was unexpected.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know if anyone's done coaching, but
I have.
It's I don't know. How did you feel when you did it?
Similar. Like, I think when you're at work and you show up a certain way, and then when you get in with your coach, you kind of let your guard down a little bit, and it can be quite emotional, and it's almost like you're professional counselling or something, you know. Yeah. So then you're starting to see triggers and different things that are actually making you show up a certain way when you know that you should be showing up, or you want to show up a different way.
Yeah, so it was quite a bit of because I was like walked in, bubbly me, you know, and then all of a sudden I'm coming out crying. I was like, what the hell happened there?
It's happened to me.
I really enjoyed that process.
Yeah.
And it was funny seeing Alison's, she's like, that's not who I thought I was going to get in, you know.
Wow.
So, but it was good to know that, you know, that there was that safe space. So confidence was a really big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's probably what shocked a lot of people. People look at me, think I'm confident. I'm not that, like, I go into this like, you know, can I do this? Like, you know, I don't know, maybe most people do that, but that's how I felt. So confidence was a big thing. The network of people, the friends I've made, the support I've gained, the family around you guys. Like, AIM is incredible. You talk about family, you guys are a family unit for sure. You know, like, and that's been pivotal to some of my relationships I have now. Yeah. And I'm forever grateful for that. And just like seeing other people grow too was a huge one. It inspired me. Yeah. There's just so many things. So good. So many things. And I'm really excited to see the guys that are in this program this year, seeing where they go and hearing the stories, because it's just going to get better and better and better every year. Like, it's so cool.
And you were in the first cohort.
I know. I'm number one. You know, we're number one.
Yep, you'll be able. You'll be watching it all. As it unfolds. Now, I hate asking this question, but I'm going to. Mm-hmm. And the reason I hate asking this question is because in the whole time that I've worked.
I better take a drink of water.
Yeah, take a drink of water. No one has ever asked a man this question. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But we talked about this earlier and you said, no, I think you should ask this question because it's relevant. So you're a mother of 3.
Mm-hmm.
The question I hate asking is how do you do it all, everything that you do, a mother of 3? And the reason I hate that is because no one ever sits opposite a man and says, how do you manage being a father and everything
and maybe
that
should be the next question on the next
I think so.
podcast.
I think I'm going to do it.
I can't wait to hear what they say.
But I guess in the social construct that we live in currently, it is a thing, right?
Yeah.
So it is, mothers do inherently take on more of the load for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So let's unpack that a little bit. How do you, manage all the responsibilities that you have?
First, I don't.
Okay, good.
I like this question because I think, some people can look at you on the outside and think you have it all together and that everything looks perfect and everything's no, that's not the case. I think my kitchen's a mess this morning.
Yeah.
I've got clothes all over the floor like most people, and I've probably been screaming at my kids all morning to get their shoes on.
Yeah.
That's reality. I have learnt over time that asking for help has been pivotal to me being able to move forward within my career.
Yeah.
And also slowly saying no to things that don't sit well with me.
Yeah.
Or I try really, really hard to make sure that I'm always there for my kids' events.
Yes.
But no, it's not. It's about the beginning of the journey. It was really, really hard. I felt very lonely.
Yeah.
Like it's a very, very lonely journey going into business.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't mention this before, but when we started Benang 6 months in, I fell pregnant with the boys.
Wow.
So I was extremely sick,
Yeah.
and I was traveling to Melbourne doing an entrepreneur program with Mara at the Melbourne Business School, which was amazing. But it was just there was a lot going on, We were trying to sell the business. I was also working at the orthodontic clinic at the time. Wow. So that was really, really difficult time. And I wish I had someone around, just to be like, is this normal? Like I missed my daughter's birthday. Yeah. Some of the sacrifices you have to make in order to pursue a dream or you want to do something.
How old was your daughter?
She would have been 1.5.
Okay.
No, she would have been 2. When I missed her birthday.
And you obviously carry that.
Yeah, there's that mum guilt, right?
Yeah.
Like I wasn't there for this, I wasn't there, and I think you have that.
Yeah, you do.
For the rest of your life when you're a mum,
Yeah.
So I think it's important to voice all these stuff because there's women out there that are trying to do it all.
Yeah.
And you can't.
I've said that too.
You cannot. You have to ask. And Demir was really good and he basically saw me really struggling. And we did come to a head at some point being like, well, I need to do this and you need to do this. And then he was like, right, I think we need to sit down and maybe ask for help. So, we call it buying time.
Yeah.
So we got into a point where we were able to financially slowly afford to get a cleaner.
Yep.
Every fortnight or once a month or whatever it was that we could afford
Whatever
at the
you
time.
needed, yeah.
And then after that, it was like, okay, maybe I could get a nanny, But it's that transition period where you have to work really hard because I know that a lot of women financially probably can't do that.
Yeah. No.
So then I was like, well, I need to start asking friends.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
And family.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of family around. So my unit of people were my friends.
Yeah.
And I had to let my, I don't know if ego is the right word, but, pride. I had to let my pride down and I still have trouble with that because I'm one of those people that's fiercely independent. Like I can do it. I don't want to let anybody help me.
I relate so hard to what you were saying.
Yeah.
That's me too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then if they say no,
because
they just can't do it, I beat myself up about that. Do you get that too?
Yes, totally.
So there must be so many women out there that are like that. And then I'm like, oh, it's fine. I'll do it. And then I'm stressing out. But it's being conscious about that and leaning in on those people that you trust.
Yeah.
Because then I think it goes vice versa too.
Yeah.
They probably come back and go, oh, can you actually do this? Or do you mind picking up my kid from school?
Yeah.
So I don't do it all. I think it's about the village you create, the community you create around you.
Yeah.
That will help. And you bring them on that journey. Like anything if I win that award, it's not just about me. Like I couldn't get there unless I had that.
Yeah.
I had those people,
around you.
around me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we're probably coming to the end now. So, but I do have a question around all the responsibility you carry.
Yeah.
So, business owner, all the social impact and the changes, carrying your family's legacy of change, your family, your Benang family. How does it feel carrying all that responsibility? Do you ever get overwhelmed or do you? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do. And I was listening to a podcast, actually, I think it was on the way here or way into work. And it was a good reminder of finding your purpose and what I mean by that, personal purpose.
Yeah.
So what is it that makes you, have that breather, like, and being conscious of that. And so I really, whenever I feel overwhelmed, and we're lucky where I'm in the position where I can say I need to have today off.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to go see a musical, or I hang out with my daughter with stuff like that. I find that she grounds me a lot.
Yeah.
So, we or just sitting on my balcony looking at the water. Like I think it's really important to be present in moments, and I'm a big person when it comes to that.
Yeah.
I lost my mum 6 months ago, and it's another reminder of going, just breathe, take in this moment because it's so fleeting.
Yes, it is.
So I do really rely on those moments to kind of be grounded.
Yeah.
Otherwise it gets too much. And also just going, I can't do it.
No.
I'm sorry. Like I think you asked me to do the podcast and I was like, you know what, Sandra, can I do it after school holidays? Because it's a bit full on at home right now.
I'd take you in it. Like absolutely.
I said that. I was like, let's do it after school because I've kind of like back into routine.
Of course.
I'm calm.
Yeah.
So I think it's just being mindful. But I think that comes with experience.
Yeah.
And also being vulnerable and opening up to people. Yeah. Because they'll be like, me too.
Yeah, it does help. And then you realise you're not alone in the journey. And,
And then they give you ideas of how to cope.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then you're drinking a champagne and then who knows? You're dancing and singing Celine Dion.
Having a great time. Yeah, absolutely. I have one final question for you, Jasmine. I really appreciate you coming on. So Benang, tomorrow, what do you believe is our responsibility to the generation coming next or coming behind us?
Yeah. I would say, I think there's this quote that I think I wrote it down that Maya Angelou said, and she goes, I come as one but stand as 10,000. I love that quote. Yeah. Because it's about, the journey before us as well and what they've left for us. And I often think about my dad and my nana and then and what they've created, right? Yeah. So that legacy piece is huge. And it's not necessarily materialistic.
No.
I think it's leaving them with a feeling.
Yeah.
And my biggest one is kindness. Yeah. And, just being being kind to people. Mm-hmm. And I try and instill that in my kids so much, and not to judge. Yeah. And just to think about the journey that these people have. So I would say just making someone feel a certain way, whether that's heard, whether that's, just being kind, a smile, or just someone that will respond to a LinkedIn message that someone sends to you, So I hope that I can open those doors for the next generation to come thinking just a little bit different.
Which you already are.
Yeah. Hopefully, yes.
So it's amazing. Thank you so much for coming in, Jasmine.
Oh, thanks for having me.
And I know we'll see you again soon.
Yes, thank you. Thanks.